Hi there, I'm going to be providing a Zoom tutorial for iOS devices. Now the interface is slightly different on Android, Chromebooks, and a few other the devices, but they should be similar, just the basic structure of it. So you should be able to use this to work through the interface and learn how to use the app. Okay, first up you need to sign up. You have to sign up, okay? So email, first, last name, and I'm going to go ahead and just make a new fake account. So this will open up your internet browser on your tablet, unless you prefer to check your email on a separate device, computer. Once you have confirmed the username and password, now we are ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and sign in. Okay, so we are at the main screen. On the left-hand side, you're going to see different tabs. Let's focus on the home screen. The first thing that you want to do, let's just go ahead and select New Meeting. Okay, and then you're going to see your personal meeting ID. I would advise you use this at first, and then you can do your scheduling later if you prefer to do a different meeting room for your different students. So we're going to select that. And what happens here now, it saves this by default when you go into join. So I'm going to go ahead and start a meeting. Okay. Okay. You're going to hear a little echo. You're going to hear a little echo. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. But the first thing you want to do is have a successful connection. Okay. If you have a spouse, a friend, family member, a colleague, what you want to do is go ahead and do a few tests, get used to the interface. Just kind of make sure that you can actually just do your instant connection. So what happens if you have issues, just right off the bat? So that's what we're going to work on right now. Let's go ahead and click join this time, because this is really the fastest way to do it now. Click join, and look, now we're here. Now we have our personal meeting room. Okay? Join. All right, so what I'm going to do is tap on the bottom of the screen. That gives us our options, okay? Now they do float away. So we have leave meeting, we have your actual meeting number at the top, then we have join audio, stop video, share content, participants, and then more. Let's click on more, claim host, minimize the meeting, virtual background. You really don't need to do anything here, okay? Let's not worry about that. Participants. If you use the waiting feature, you will use this, okay? The waiting feature allows students to come in and wait in a virtual room until you're ready. So you do want to use that if you want to use the waiting feature. I do highly recommend it until you get to the point where if you do want to schedule in different rooms. Okay, share content. So I'm not going to go over this today. We're just doing the basics. But if you have Dropbox set up, if you want to share a website URL, if you want to share your screen and go to a different app and share it, maybe share some music, there's better ways to do that. But let's just stick to the basics here. Then you can mess around with the share content feature. Okay. Stop video. There's really no reason you want to stop video for now. Now, what will happen is if you have issues with video, you will see that. So that is important. Check this first if you have issues with video. Click on the camera. It happens quite frequently, especially when you first get started. And then if you don't hear any audio, join audio. Okay? Now I don't have it hooked up right now because or else I would have major feedback. All right? And then let's look at the left-hand side, switch camera. So if you need to switch the camera lens to go the other way, that's pretty straightforward. Switch to gallery view. This will give a smaller window, but you'll be able to see both at the same time. So maybe if you have like multiple students you're teaching, or if you just want to see it both equally, this is better for desktop, in my opinion. And let's switch back. Okay, and then you see your meeting ID up here, and then leave meeting. So we're going to go ahead and leave meeting, and that's what you want to do at the end of the lesson time. If you're using the waiting room feature, wait, don't leave meeting, or else you're going to have to come right back in, which is fine if you do that. Don't freak out. Just go back and join. Okay? That's really it to start. Now, you can get into the schedule features, and that gets a little bit more advanced in terms of being able to schedule students with different meeting IDs. I wouldn't worry about that for now. And if you do want to do that, then there are tons of tutorials on Zoom for that. The share the screen, there's no point in sharing the screen without being in the lesson. So you're not going to really use that unless you're in the actual room. The chats, look, if you have issues, you can't hear them or see them, then you can start a chat. Now, I would actually recommend just picking up the phone and calling, especially if you're just starting off, okay? And then the meetings. This is actually a very good spot to go and send your invitations. So go to the meetings, send invitation, now if you have your text message app hooked up, text, email, or copy, and then of course you can bring that over to another device or to your computer. So that's a really important one. You need to be able to know what your meeting ID number is and send your invitations. This is the easiest way to do it from the iOS device. Contacts, if you want to start a list of contacts just like with your phone, then you can start adding them in there. That will be beneficial, so you know who's who, and you can start gathering that information. Settings. Okay, so when you go to the settings, you can change your profile photo if you want to, a little bit more personal. You can make a personal note. You can see what your meeting ID number is. And that's really all you need to do there. Meetings, some basic things here. You really don't need to change anything in the meeting settings because the features on the iPad are not near as robust as the desktop computer. So let me see if there's anything big here. Meeting reminder, if you do schedule your meetings. So I don't really see anything you need to do there in the meeting settings, just the settings that it comes with you when you open the app. Contacts, we just talked about that. Chat, we talked about that. I wouldn't even worry about doing the chat. I would just text message or do it by phone for now, so that way you're not trying to do both at the same time while you're in the app itself. But mess around with it with your friend, colleague, family member, and see if it's something that you want to mess with. Okay, I would go ahead and turn on the integrated calling. That is not on, okay? That's going to make sure that every time you go in there, your system audio is ready. Because if you don't, then you're going to have to click that audio button every single time. And that's it. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of how to use Zoom. And go ahead and throw in some comments if anybody knows any other features that I missed here, or just general ideas of the flow of this. Let me know. I don't use the iPad for this. I have students that do, so I've worked with them on it. But I'm a desktop Zoom person. So if you have a desktop, use Zoom on that, and if not, then you are fully capable of doing everything with your iOS device or your tablet or even mobile phone. And hopefully that's just on the student side.